class, and we are still under federation. We are still under federation. We have seen why Nigeria run the federal system of government, and we have equally seen the problems associated with the federal system of government. Today we are going to look at the 3 tiers of government. What do we mean by the 3 tiers of government? We have the state, we have the local government, and we have the federal government. Let me take it again. The federal government, the state government, and the local government. This is the 3 tiers of government. That is the 3 arms that shares power in a federation kind of system. The federal system, or the federal government, is the central government that takes care of the governance of the country. And remember that since it is a central government, the word federation, it has to do with different states coming together to form a central government. And Nigeria as a federation have 36 states. And so this 36 states is managed by the state governments. And we have those in the grassroots under the state government, which is the local government. And so the local government manages governance from the grassroots, from our various communities, from our various villages, from our various clans. This small community puts together, this local government manages their affairs. So the 3 tiers of government is put in place to oversee the large population of people that makes up the country, which is a federation system of government that is central. And so the federal government has its own function to perform. The state government has its own functions to perform. The local government has its own function to perform. But they all come together in unionism to make things happen in the country. And so this leads us to another thing, another of our subtopic, which is the relationship that coexists between these 3 tiers of government, the state, the local, and the federal government. What is the relationship that exists between them all? I'm going to discuss 8 of them. The first one is activities are coordinated together and they are independent of one another. They are independent. That is to say, the state is independent on its own, the local government is independent on its own, and the federal government is independent on its own. But then, activities are coordinated. That is to say, there is a round table central place for meeting to coordinate whatever happens at the federal level, the state level, and the local level. The second one is the component states of the federation are created out of a single country. All states in the federation, all local governments in the federation are created and they remain one country. Nigeria have 36 states, have about 779 local governments, but then they belong to Nigeria as a federal state or as a federation. So even if the states are differently created, they are all, or they all belongs to one country, Nigeria. They don't disintegrate. They belong to Nigeria as a country. The third one, the country's resources are kept in national treasury and shared among the 3 tiers. The resources gotten are kept in the national treasury, and then allocation is allocated to each of the state and the local governments. The federal government takes its own allocation, the state takes, and the local government takes. But they are all kept in the national treasury, and allocation is given to each of these tiers of government. The federal takes, the state takes, and the local government takes its own share. That's the number third relationship. The fourth one is that the federal government represents the entire nation in external affairs. In external affairs, in foreign countries, you don't hear, here is represented by Nigeria from so state. So different states, 36 states has to be represented, 779 local governments have to be represented. No. The federal government represents the interests of the three tiers of government. And so the federal government sends a representative that represents the other tiers of government. These are the relationship we're talking about here. The fifth one is all levels of government are under the operation of the same constitution. They don't have a different constitution for the federal, a different constitution for the state, a different constitution for the local government. They run a central constitution, and this constitution controls the country in general, be it state, be it local, and be it federal. And so the functionality of each of these tiers are listed in the constitution. And so that singular constitution is what controls the nation as a whole. There is no different constitution that serves each of the tiers. And so the Senate and the House of Rep, all their functions, they still work for the interest of the three tiers of government. Even if the state has its own house, the local has its own house, the constitution, that is the federal constitution, still controls the three tiers of government. Now the sixth one, there is duplication of department for the three tiers. Look at the federal department. You have Ministry of Education, you have it in the federal, you have it in the state, you have it in the local. Ministry of Health, you have it in the federal, you have it in the state, you have it in the local government. Ministry of Works and Housing, you have it in the local government, you have it in the state, you have it in the local government. So many ministries we have. The way it is in the states, in the federal, that's the same way it is in the states. The same way it is in the local government. So each of these have a bearing on the relationship that exists between these three tiers of government. Then we have the seventh one, regular council of state meetings are put together and the three tiers of government come to a roundtable talk to discuss issues that affect them and see how they can resolve these issues and put things in order to make things happen. Now we are seeing the relationship that exists between the federal, the state, and the local governments. We take the number 8 one, which is power sharing in the federation. The federal government do not have autonomous power that he alone takes decision or does things in his own way. No, power is shared. The federal government has its own jurisdiction, the state does have its own jurisdiction, and the local government has its own jurisdiction. And so the jurisdiction at which your power covers is where you are going to cover. The federal government knows its jurisdiction, the state knows its jurisdiction, and the local government knows its jurisdiction. So we have seen the relationship that exists between the federal, the state, and the local government. And remember we told you Nigeria is a federal kind of system. That's why we run a federation. Because we have different states, 36 states, and many local governments that exist in the country. That's why we are referred to as a federation. So we've seen the relationship. Please go over them. Go and watch part 1 and 2 of federation. This is the third part of it, if you've not watched it. If you have watched it and you have any question, interact with me in the comment box. Remember, I always tell you, this class is not a monologue. It's a dialogue between you and you and I will always dialogue in the comment box. Go there, ask your question, I'll give you feedback. You are my community and I love you, and I'll always try to be here for us to interact together. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. If you are returning subscribers, thank you. If you love what we do here, give us a thumbs up. If you want to support this channel, you can email us at classonlineschool.com. Continue to spread the word about us. We want you to learn at the go, learn everywhere. We bring learning to your home and we make learning very easy for you. Thank you for dropping by on the channel. Until I come your way next class, thank you very much.